methods include handbooks, unit modules, activities, reading, online discussions and forums, online tutorials, and self-directed study and group support. As with any of the units, you'll have found with the induction unit, it is a good starting point to always read through the unit handbook, and you'll find that on Monday when you get Unit 1 material, you'll find that you have a Unit 1 handbook. Always start off with the handbook to get you into the requirements of the unit. It's a brilliant point of reference as the handbook, and it contains a lot of information to provide you with guidance and support. The Cohort 1 2016 Learner Handbook also contains the aims of the Level 5, and it is anticipated that learners will have practice and an understanding of the operational role of the business manager now that they're doing the Level 5. The Level 4 is an induction into all the different areas, the professional disciplines that link to a school business manager, such as finance, HR, project management. Now you're going up that next step to start thinking more strategically. Therefore, in essence, Level 5 builds onto this knowledge and provides a platform for the learner to move from operational to strategic, from a manager to a leader. This unit will provide the learner with firstly a calendar view and course running schedule. Learners will note that each unit has a start date and time to carry out activities, webinars and learning, with the completion of an assignment at the end, which will be assessed by myself as the tutor to decide on your level of learning outcomes that you have achieved. Generally, module work should be completed a month to 6 weeks before the unit deadline, leaving yourself 4 to 5 weeks to bring your work together, finalise it, and make sure that you have included all answers to the assignment and demonstrated as deeply as possible the level you are working at. Elizabeth's put up a question here. No, it doesn't matter if you haven't completed Level 4. If you're a practicing school business manager, then you'll have all those operational levels achieved in your day-to-day practice. You'll know about HR legislation, financial management, good principles and policies behind that. So if you have experience in business management, whether in the private or the public sector, then I would say Level 5 is the right level for you to be starting at. So the learning outcomes that you'll have to demonstrate with regard to your assignments are limited, emerging and secure. So limited demonstration of outcomes would generally get you a pass level, an emerging knowledge would get you a good pass, and a secure, deep understanding of the role would get you an excellent pass. Moving on in the course from induction, each unit handbook will detail the structure, format and requirements of the unit's assessment. The lead tutors put together the handbooks for you, and you will find that as you go into Unit 1 on Monday, the requirements of the assessment are quite detailed, and it does tell you quite clearly what you have to do, what the expectations are, and there is very good guidance. When you look at your assessments, always be sure to check to look at what the assessment is actually asking you for. A reflective commentary, a professional commentary, or written report. The units will ask for a reflective summary, which is your professional learning achieved through undertaking the unit. That is your level of knowledge and understanding at the start and then to the end. A professional commentary is your analysis of processes and scenarios in the context of management. So it's not so much your own development and reflection, but more a commentary of the actual processes and analysis. A written report is one to be delivered in a professional scenario, such as a governor's report. Learners can submit an assignment for assessment to a maximum of 3 weeks before the submission deadline. And one point to note is referencing. There is a handbook on good referencing that NST adopt. They use the Harvard system of referencing. So if you have any material on that you want to share with the other learners, that is fine. But I know that there is quite a good guidance through NST. So as I say, a lot of the learning is self-directed and studying online. It's very much aimed that you take it, there is a schedule, but you take the pace at the pace that fits in with your working life, your personal life. So getting started on the online course, it's divided into 5 units, which consist of modules or subject learning areas, which underpin learning outcomes. The modules are compulsory learning. Apart from the induction module, you don't have to submit an assignment for the induction module. Each unit finalises with the assessment, as we've spoken about, which is your opportunity to demonstrate your learning and development through the unit. The units at level 5 are personal effectiveness, which is your unit 1 that starts on Monday, leading and managing teams, stakeholder engagement, leading and managing the business of schools, and managing school improvements. Learning modules within each unit are the main area of study and link into the assessment learning outcomes. Alongside these sit the resources provided by NST. The modules will refer you to the relevant resources. Regarding activity templates, you can use the ones supplied by NST, or if you have one that you use day to day in your working area, then that is fine. Or if you want to design your own Word document, you will not be marked on the type of document that you've used. Activity work is not assessed, but it is designed for you to focus on areas for development. So as you work through the 5 units, you might find that there's some areas that you already know, are fully aware of. You might have done previous learning regarding those areas, and you might feel that the activity would not give any benefit to your deeper understanding of that topic area. That is fine, but they are there for other learners who maybe want to develop in that area. You might want to revisit through an activity a specific skill that you've learned previously. You basically undertake the activities according to what your level of knowledge is presently. As I say, you don't have to submit your activities to me as the tutor, so that is totally left to your self-direction. The activities, as I say, are designed for you to review your actual knowledge of a subject, and therefore you have to decide whether there's benefit in you completing that activity. Course delivery includes resources via the NST website online learning area with online tutor support. This again provides the opportunity to work at your preferred times while still having access to other learners undertaking the course. So on Monday, when you receive the Unit 1, I've been assured that the VLE will be accessible on Monday and that you will be able to access your Unit 1 modules and materials and resource folder and any podcasts where relevant. With regards to Unit 1, you'll have the handbook, the learning modules, and again the resource folder, which will also give you links to research that you might want to undertake to again develop your understanding on a topic. Unit webinars. For each module within a unit, there will be a unit webinar. This is complementary learning support, and it's going to be delivered at an agreed time and date. And generally it is programmed for 30 minutes, but we can take as long as we want to. If there's questions at the end and it's creating a good discussion, then that is fine. It will always be recorded, so if you can't make the time and date, that is fine. You'll be able to pick it up. I will be sending out a Dropbox link to the recording that you can then listen to at a later date. And as with tonight's webinar, you'll receive your invitation via email to go on register. I will say that if numbers are low, we will cancel the webinar itself. This is because obviously it's no value if there's only 2 or 3 learners wanting to go on to the webinar. The course calendar, if we go on to that, provides an outline of completion, as we've said, for each unit. Each unit has a specific start date and becomes active online on that date. I know some learners have been a little bit concerned that they couldn't see Unit 1 last week. You won't be able to see any of the units until they become live in the schedule. So you start Unit 1 on the 1st of February, that runs February, March. From what I can remember, you undertake your assignment in April, so therefore Unit 2 will become live on the 1st of May. You will make application of your learning to your workplace school setting and share these practices with other learners on the discussion pro board. It is highly recommended that you do, as we've spoken before, complete the module activities and read the resources provided. They are designed to help you engage more full in analysis and reflection. Each module details the resources needed at the start. In addition, learners are encouraged to carry out wider reading. This may include websites, articles, selections of books, etc., which will help to enrich your learning experience and provide you with that broader analysis and reflection. You can also see the guidance regarding literature, searching, research and referencing that's provided by NST. You just have to excuse me here because my mouse keeps disappearing at the bottom of the page so that I can't get straight on to the next page. So tutorial support and discussion forums, we've already touched on these in the previous slides. The one-to-one tutorials, we can either do this by phone calls or we can set up a one-to-one webinar. So it would run like tonight, but obviously just one-to-one. I'll just stop there because I noticed that Sarah Bailey has got a hand raised. I'll just unmute you, Sarah. I'll find you from the list. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, sorry to ask you this.
No, that's fine.
On the 4th of February, do you have any idea of what time that was, please?
For next Thursday that we're going to do.
Yes.
Yeah, for Unit 1. I'm looking at 6:30.
Okay, thank you.
I just thought that making it a different time to 4:30 might catch other learners who maybe found 4:30 difficult. Is that okay with you?
Oh, that's fine. How long is that webinar, please?
It's programmed for 30 minutes,
30
but we are
That's fine. Thank you.
we will be going over Module 1 for Unit 1, which is personal effectiveness, and it is the largest of the modules. So I am anticipating, although it's programmed for 30 minutes, it could take us a lot longer, about 45 minutes.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks. So one-to-one tutorials are only 30 minutes, and the items for discussion are up to the learner within the one-to-one tutorials. It may therefore be an advantage to inform me of any items that you do want to discuss in advance, as this allows me to prepare. I'll complete a tutorial record form after we've had the tutorial, which I will send to you for your own records and that you can electronically sign and return to me. This record is then maintained on your learner file, and it also is quite a good reference point for you after the tutorial of any bullet points that we've raised together. Suzanne's got a hand up. I'll just unmute Suzanne. Hi, Suzanne.
Hello, yeah, sorry about
No,
that.
it's fine.
It's only because the previous ladies just asked about the next webinar.
Yeah.
Because you're breaking up for me at my end, I'd missed that completely, that there was another webinar. How did you just talk about that, and did I miss that, or because I don't know when that is or what time it starts or anything?
No, I think I'd mentioned it in a previous email.
Oh, right, okay.
And I was going to mention it at the end of tonight's induction webinar, right, so that we can discuss when they're next coming up. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's great, thank you.
All right, thanks. So yeah, there will be a tutorial form that goes out to you as a record of the meeting. Background reading always helps, as you'll be aware, to put your thinking in context and helps to explain and reflect. I know as school business managers, we have a lot of resources through NASBM, through organisations such as the Association of School and College Leaders, where we can refer to. Even the Department for Education website has a wealth of resources that we can refer to. There is on page 8 of the induction module, there is a good quick reference to the differences between descriptive writing and critical analytical writing. And as part of your Unit 1 tutorials, we can go over assessment writing, what sort of words to use to get you back into writing assessments, knowing what the tutors will be looking for when they carry out marking your assessment. And because I am aware that some learners might not have done a course for a few years, others might have done one recently, and it's getting back into that mindset of what is the assessor looking for. So we can by all means use your tutorials for just discussing how to write a critical analysis or the words to use when you are analysing. Looking at significance, value, suitability, reasoning, and again then going on to concluding. Do use the discussion forum when it's up and running to share your learning reflections at the end of each module. It is a good platform, and any courses that I've undertaken, it's been invaluable to provide motivation and also that reference point of, I don't quite understand what I need to do here. Has anybody read through this? Can they give advice? To use each other as learners. And as the tutor, I will be going on as well and posting questions so that we're all thinking along the lines of the course unit material. There will be podcasts available which provide a 5 to 10-minute reflection by SBMs on particular topics and includes experience and reflection and tackling concepts and practices. So just to say again that as the course tutor, I will be your key first point of contact with regard to the units and the content of the units. However, for support and assistance with VLE and such like, there is the course coordinator who oversees enrolments, online access, assessment submission, concerns, grievances, and maintains the learner database. You do also need to be aware as learners of NST policies, such as the assessment policy, the complaints procedure, factors affecting engagement. That is for if you have issues arising during the course time that mean progress is not made as planned. There are procedures in place to follow about notifying NST, about possibly looking towards an assessment deadline being put back for 1 to 2 weeks. And there is a form that you would need to complete if that circumstance did arise. So if we can go on to introductions, I'll put up the screen for you to there we go. Introduce yourself. There's the bullet points there for you to just remind yourself as you go down through what we'd like to hear about you. I'm just going to quickly, before we go to that, I've got a question from Elizabeth. There's a question popped up. I don't know if that's from now or whether possibly it's from previous. Let me just unmute Elizabeth. If Elizabeth, you'd like to start off with your introduction.
My name's Elizabeth, or Lizzie as I'm preferred to be called. I'm from Manchester and I work at Farmenshire Primary School. I only recently became a business manager last September, but prior to that I worked for the school's finance team at the local authority in accountancy. My motivation to do the course is since becoming a business manager, I was looking into it and thought it was the right thing to do and was fully supported by my head teacher in doing so. And I just want to gain from the courses to become obviously a better business manager because I'm still quite new, despite the experience of finance and HR, etc. It's just more the strategic side, and that's what I was looking for. That's why I chose level 5.
That's great. Thank you, Elizabeth. So we've got someone with finance experience there to rely on. That's good. Thank you. Carly. Hi, Carly.
Hi.
Hi. Do you want to just introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Carly Crittenden. I work in a special needs school in Lewisham Borough called Drumbeat. I'm not a school business manager, I'm the finance officer, but I do work very closely with the school business manager. And the reason why I'm doing this course is because I did the CSBM last year and she did this course, and now we've both gone up onto the next ones. Yeah, she just wants me to gain more strategic knowledge from the course, really. That's
brilliant. It. And with the level 5, when I did my diploma and went up from the CSBM to the level 5, I must admit it did totally change my viewpoint of that step from looking at to do to going on to looking at the strategic view. So I think you will find that really beneficial. That's great.
Oh, good.
Catherine. Hi, Catherine.
Hello, hi, my name's Catherine. I'm from Bingley in West Yorkshire. I work in an academy in Keighley. I'm the finance manager. I'm an ACCA qualified accountant. We don't actually have business managers at our school, but we're going into a MAT shortly, so I thought the course would be relevant for when we go into a mat.
Brilliant. Yeah. Again, yeah, it will be, because you'll start seeing that more strategic rather than operational. That is the main aim of the course. So that's great. Thank you, Catherine.
Okay.
Hello, Katie.
Oh, hello. Hi
Hi.
there. Hello, hi. I'm Katie Gibbs, and I'm from primary school in Caterham in Surrey. We're a one-form entry school, and I've been the school business manager there for a year and a half. Previous to that, I worked in a secondary school and started as finance assistant. I worked my way up to be assistant business manager, and during that time I did the CSBM. So yeah, now I was sort of, it was suggested by the head teacher and me being a member of the SLT that I do some more professional development, so I've moved on to do the level 5 diploma, and I guess I'm just hoping that I can develop my skills as a strategic leader and learn more about whole school improvement and how best I can contribute towards my school in this way.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you, Katie.
Thanks.
Hi, Kirsty.
Hi.
Hi.
My name's Kirsty Brett. I'm the business manager of a primary in Devon. We've got 350 children in school, and I've been the business manager for nearly a year and a half. My background is sort of general office management rather than specifically finance or anything else. I wanted to do the course because there's discussions afoot about becoming a MAT, and with lots of small primaries getting together, I wanted to secure my role within the group, really, in as much as anything. And the head and the governors have supported that wholeheartedly. That's probably about it, really.
No, that's great. Thank you, Kirsty. We'll go on to Lorraine. Hi, Lorraine.
Hello there.
Hi.
You okay?
Yeah, fine, thanks.
Right, my name's Lorraine Pembroke. I work in a one-form entry primary school in Atherton near Manchester. Been in the role of school business manager for 5 years. I've done the CSBM, and I thought it was time, obviously, to move upwards and onwards and gain a further qualification. Obviously, build on that strategic planning you talked about earlier, and meet lots of new people who are also, like myself, trying to improve.
Brilliant. Thank you, Lorraine. That's great. Mandy. Hi, Mandy. Mandy. Hi. Right, we'll move on to Mark. Hello, Mark. Mark, can you hear me at all? Martin?
Hello there. Yeah, Martin Blake.
I was starting to worry.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'd have all gone off to have tea or something.
Yeah, off to the pub. It's Friday night.
Oh yeah, so I've been off. Yeah, Martin Blake. I'm a business manager at a two-form entry primary school in Toaster in Northamptonshire. We also have a nursery intake. Been there about 15 months. Previously at another school for a year. Then prior to that at the local authority for 9 years, 3 of which was in schools finance. But my main background is 20 years in banking. We've just recently been approved as a MAT, so this is obviously this qualification will be quite useful for that, and that's certainly where the motivation comes through on that one.
Brilliant.
So yeah, should be good.
Okay then, welcome.
You mentioned about access earlier. I can log in, but I've got no access to the course, the induction section, but I think you've had several emails from me about that.
Yeah, I did pick up on one that you'd CC'd me into, and it said that you can see it, but then when you click on it, nothing is happening.
That's right, yeah. And it's the same. I've just done it about 10 minutes ago, so
right.
still not been fixed.
Okay then. There has been a meeting with NST today between the lead tutor to say, look, you need to get this sorted. We've got Unit 1 starting on Monday. You received the induction material via the email, didn't you? So you
I've got all the material. I just can't go through the module online.
Yeah. Okay then. Obviously you can work through it as a PDF. And you'll see just what you would have seen online. But I know it is frustrating because it's been frustrating for us in that if you're telling people to go to the VLE, you expect it to be up and running. So we are also,
I'm just anxious about Monday as well.
Yes. But I do have a plan B that I'll be Dropboxing you all the units again so that you can start on Monday and start looking through the handbook and such like. All right then. But
thanks so much.
Can you keep trying as well and let me know when you do get on, because they're not very quick at feeding back to the tutors of who's being sorted. So it would be great to hear when you are on the VLE. Okay, thanks. Nikki? Hi, Nikki.
Hi.
Hi, all right.
Hello, I'm fine, thank you. I'm Nikki. I'm working in North Tyneside. I work for North Tyneside Local Authority. I work in the only standalone nursery school in our local authority, so we just have children for a year, sometimes 2, depending on when they start. My current role was actually nursery manager up until September, when I took on the business manager's role and the finance that came with that. So the motivation is just to sort of broaden my understanding of the business manager's role in conjunction with the nursery manager role that I've done previously.
Right, that's brilliant. So you organise the budgets and such like and monitor them for the nursery?
Yes, yeah.
Are they paying? Is it like a private nursery or a state-funded nursery?
It's a state-funded nursery, but we do also have funded 2 places, and we have a wraparound that's in the same setting, so the children can access their 15 hours and then access top-up wraparound in the same place.
Right, okay. That's brilliant. Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you.
Hello, Paula.
Hello.
Hi, Paula.
Hiya. Yes, okay, hiya. My name's Paula Mason. I work at a large primary school in Burnley, Lancashire. I'm the school business manager there, which I've been doing there for 5 years. I've worked in the education sector for 14 years, and previous to that I had my own business. My current role, I've told you about that, my career background as well, but my study, I've done the CSBM 2 years ago, and I also did a foundation degree in business management, and I just decided myself really with things that are happening in schools as well. There's a lot of changes around our area. My schools are changing to academies as well. I thought the DSBM, I know it's all changed now, but the ILM level 5, I wanted to do that to progress a lot further. The head teacher and governors are behind me, and I would, hopefully, within 5 years, I want to go and work as a school business manager in the secondary schools.
Brilliant. Thank you. You've certainly got a plan there.
Yeah, don't know if it'll work, but...
Thank you. Well, you're on your first step, so that's brilliant, isn't it? Okay, thanks, Paula. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Fiona, you okay?
Hi, yeah, fine, thanks. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name's Sarah Bailey, and I work for a 2-form entry primary school. It's almost 2-form entry. It's been growing over the past year. There's over 400 pupils there now, and I've worked as a school business manager for quite a number of years at 2 schools. So this is the 2nd school. So I thought it was about time that really I could just assess where I was up to, because a lot of my practice is probably through experience, probably doing things wrong at first and then learning from that. So I really just wanted to assess where I stood professionally at present, and also to gain a qualification to say I can do what I can do. But really as well, I just wanted to improve on the practice that I do use. And also we have a cluster with other business managers, so obviously this course can probably help me with that cluster so that we can benefit each other.
Yeah, I mean, that's a brilliant point about the qualification and accreditation, because a lot of us work in schools and have done for years, but it's actually you know, having that qualification behind you, isn't it? When you work in an educational environment as well,
Yes.
it just adds that little bit of sort of that extra stream to your, that extra arrow to your bow, doesn't it, type of thing, that, you know, I have qualified to this level in this business management. So that's great. Thank you for that, Sarah.
Thank you.
Suzanne, hi Suzanne, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Sue Ravenhall. I live in, hi there, I live in Portsmouth at the moment, but I'm from Leicester. The school I work at is King Richard in Portsmouth, which is a challenging school in a challenging area, in inverted commas. So it's a secondary school. My current role is a school business manager, but I've only been doing that for 2.5 years. I have been in the school for 10.5 years, and prior to that I was just doing the HR side of things. My background is HR. So that the head teacher was new at the time I started, and he would like a strategic response from me, and not to get involved with the day-to-day finances, because I've got other people that do that, which I'm quite happy to do because finance isn't my background. Obviously, it's a steep learning curve for me moving into that, because I've never done the finance before. So what I'm hoping to gain from the course is a more strategic overview of the finance, and to underpin the finance knowledge that I've learnt over the 2.5 years. The qualifications I've already got are the CIPD in HR, and I've worked for Hampshire County Council previously, holding head teachers' hands, if you like, to sack a teacher, for instance. So that's that.
Oh, that's brilliant. So we'll be referring all our HR problems to you now then, Sue. So with your wealth of
they're my
experience.
favourite, sacking the teachers.
Okay, thanks for that.
Yeah, okay.
Hi, Zoe. Zoe? Hi. Well, maybe I have to have introductions from Zoe, Mark and Mandy another time. I'll just try Mandy again. Hi, Mandy. Can you hear me? Can you come online? For those learners that haven't been able to come on, just do check that you haven't muted yourselves. I know I've got all learners as attendees on muted, but there is a panel that you can actually mute yourself. It's the little green button with the microphone on, and you might have just pressed that by mistake as well. So we'll go on to a summary for tonight's webinar. And just going over again, I mean, that was brilliant to hear the wealth of experience and variety of experience that we've got in this group as a learner group. We've also got other SBMs in the group. As I say, there's 21, which means that 5 aren't with us tonight. So that means that, therefore, you know, when we do get up and running with this, we are going to have a very good group for bouncing ideas off, having discussions and such like. And also to hear the reasons for why people are undertaking this course, that move to strategic view for qualification, accreditation, Elizabeth has put up a question asking what a MAT is. It's a multi-academy trust, is what the sort of abbreviation is for. It's where a group of academies come together as a collaboration. They might do that on different levels. Some might share governor's trustee board and such like. Some might share a school business manager that looks after everyone, each one of the schools. So it's very much about collaboration together and working together. So going back to a summary for tonight, and just talking about some of the things that you need to consider as you go on through your journey through this course. Setting aside time. We're all practicing business managers. We've got busy weeks and busy lives, but do try and plan a guaranteed slot each week that is for you to carry on your progress within the course. Maybe you can negotiate with your head teachers that have encouraged you to do the level 5, that you maybe go into work a little bit later or leave earlier, 2 to 3 hours earlier, so that you can go home and work through the activities and have the time to do the research. My day when I was undertaking my degree was always Saturdays. The husband would look after the children in the morning, and then the youngest went to dancing. So I was free until mid-afternoon, and I actually used to come into work, because we have a Saturday club, and actually work from work. I'd also obviously do work in the evenings, research and draft, but Saturdays was my final write up the assessment days. How you want to work it is up to your individual lives and responsibilities, but do think about having that slot each week that is your level 5 diploma time. Also, what I found invaluable was finding a space for myself within the house. This started off as a table in the bay window of our bedroom, and then as my older girls left for university, I took over the office at weekends, my husband's office. So do try and find that space within a room that is your area to go and sit to do your level 5. Schedule time for your reflection, and do take a break now and again and come back to your work. You are going to have to learn to say no to prioritise this course. There is a lot of research and reading for you to undertake, but on both a personal and professional level, people in your life are going to want you to succeed, and they will want to support you. One of your biggest resources is going to be the school that you work in, and that will allow you to access information and provide you with colleagues where you can sound out ideas, senior management to provide information and formulate plans with. In addition, you may have a local school network or SBM forum, and also don't forget again your fellow learners on the discussion board, and always remember that it is just as important for you to give support to them as they give support to you. We'll see how it goes with the discussion board. I am aware that it's not up and running on the VLE as yet. Well, that's my understanding. And I think it was Sue had the good idea. She sent everybody out an introduction email. And maybe by the end of, well, maybe we can discuss it at next Thursday's webinar, that we start communicating via email for discussions, so that you've got that channel until the pro board, the discussion board, is up and running, which I have been assured is going to be quite soon. So as with any type of discussion, you'll be aware to always engage politely. Even if you are challenging an idea or an understanding, do show respect and be aware of confidentiality when needed. On that side, I would say that the discussion boards, they are confidential to our level and our group. No other levels or cohorts can access our group area. So it does stay within our 21 learners and myself. So if we can go on to next steps for you, and we'll discuss about the next webinar. So what you need to do is, if you haven't already done it, read through the learner handbook for the induction, complete your activities for your skills analysis. That is quite a good activity to undertake because it gives you a real holistic view of where you are now, right at the start of your course. Read through the NST Study and Assessment Writing Guide and the Referencing Guide. When the discussion forum becomes active, and you should get an email from NST to say that it is, do join in. And again, if you want to introduce yourself for those learners that couldn't come on tonight or haven't been able to access the webinar. On Monday, 1st of February, access the unit area online and begin reading through the Unit 1 handbook and complete the unit introduction module. Then you can start on your learning modules. Do let me know if you experience technical issues to the VLE, and I will just Dropbox everyone with the unit material via email. I am planning to get started with Unit 1 Module 1 next Thursday with the webinar on the 4th of February at 6:30. And I'll send you out an invite over the weekend, which will also include invites to Module 2 and 3. We would usually spread our webinars over the 2 months of the unit, but when you read through Unit 1, you will find that you have to quite early on decide on an area that you want to develop your personal effectiveness. It might be delegation, coaching, managing meetings. It does give you a wide range of choices, or there might be something else that you decide that you want to develop over the next couple of months. And you have to draw up an action plan towards that area. So that is why I'd like to carry on, and although it's only next Thursday, get on with the Unit 1 Module 1 webinar so that we can start looking at the different areas of personal